So, I want to talk about a couple of things here. Setting up the camera. So, this is a drawing did a little while back. Was extremely happy with the way it came out. To the point that I decided to make a painting off of it, which I'm less happy with at this point in time. And making this video because get the comment from people a lot like, oh, you've got talent. And that's very sweet and it's very nice, but was taught in school that there is no such thing as talent. There's really just the desire to learn and work. And that being said, there is some ability, but I think it's given out a lot more freely than most people realize. For instance, used to be really impressed by photorealism. Wow, how could somebody do that? Until did it once myself and realized there's really nothing to it. It's not difficult. What it is it's tedious. You have to sit there and match the color and put it exactly where it was. It's time consuming and it's tedious, but it's not hard. You do have things where you run into people like Vincent or Claudel, people who could really work in a creative manner that was worthwhile. That is harder, and that does take some natural ability. But don't let that discourage you, because that is a natural ability that a lot more people have than you would think. It's just a matter of working to get it out, which is probably, unfortunately, why some people like Vincent and Claudel just sort of worked themselves to death. But talking about this process, because it will bring that out. It will talk about the work. Now, this was done fairly easily in about a half hour, 40 minutes, and was very happy with the result. So that might look to somebody, if they were flying the wall, as if, oh, I just had talent, so I did it. But what they're not seeing is the years and years of effort that went into it. Hours and hours and years of drawing exercises and studying, so that when that moment came where there were no interruptions and the materials were in front of me and felt like doing it, could actually execute it. Having seen this, decided it would translate well into a painting, but as you can see, the painting isn't quite doing what the drawing is doing. And you notice this a lot, and this isn't just me, even the greats like Da Vinci. His paintings are rightly considered, some of the greatest treasures that humanity has. But if you look at a lot of the drawings of what he did as studies for them, they do lose a little bit in the translation of painting. Because of the different medium, probably because of his time constraints. A lot of reasons. And this is something first noticed as a kid, when you watched, say, animated movies, and you saw the characters, and you saw when they were drawn in the frames, the proportions and expressions that they had, and then you'd see the toy. And, even as a very small child, would look at the toy in its little plastic case in the store and realize, wow, this lost a lot. It lost some of its proportions, it lost something in the whole molding process. It doesn't have the same gesture and the same feel that the animated character had. And that's an extreme example of this, but something like that is at risk happening when you take something as direct as drawing, which is very simple, and you translate it to something like painting. This just has a feel that this doesn't have. And that's probably partially the materials, you know, painting with ASTM standard little kid paint on a board that was destroyed for anti-sentimental reasons. My paint supplier has, over the years, come up with a pretty extreme minimum, so this was the workaround. So that has something to do with it, but mostly it has to do with just trying to translate the drawing to the painting. And, you know, was hoping to have this in a show that's coming up in about 10 days, but I'm going to have to do some serious fixing to it in order to do it. Probably would have tossed it had not decided to make it a painting of Isaac. This is the smoke getting into his eyes. Otherwise, probably just would have tossed this and decided not to work on it. So, yeah, just wanted to show you, you know, artists, we do work. It is hard work. It is not all fun and games and you sit in a room and the muse comes and tells you what to do, and there's a lot more to it. And that's just one of the small things, translating the gesture of the drawing into a painting or sculpture sometimes. It's one of the things we deal with.